This video is to explain how to use shrink wrap on blanks that it could potentially stick to. A lot of people have complained that they don't like using shrink wrap because it sticks to their blanks. Well, there are some blanks that you don't fully cover in sublimation paper and it will stick to it. So that is what this video is to teach you. In these images, I'm just giving you an example of how I store my sublimation images that I'm not using. Now, this one that I'm going to put on the blue tumbler has been in this bag, a Ziploc bag, and you can see I've got a little silica in there. You do not need that, but if it comes in something I buy, I'll stick it in my Ziploc bag with my prints. So this image that I'm going to be using is at least 4 months old, just so to show you how long that you can leave these in the Ziploc bag. This is the image that I've taken out of there. And as you can see, I'm going to be putting it on a blue tumbler. So this is a design that I've chosen for on this sippy cup. And the reason I'm using this one is I had actually printed it for a full stainless steel tumbler, but when I was printing, my printer caught the side of it and it kind of got it pretty messed up. So I trimmed it down and I decided to trim it even further and put it on a sippy cup so that I'm not wasting a sublimation image. On this image, you're going to see the part that we're going to be dealing with. And as you can see on the top of the sippy cups, we have the stainless steel where the cover screws on. And then on the blue tumbler, we have the image taped on, but there's a lot of blue tumbler exposed there. Anything that does not have paper on it, the shrink wrap will stick to. So this is a solution that I've come up with to cover the things that are exposed to the shrink wrap. As you can see, I cut pieces of just plain copy paper and carefully taped it on the top of the sippy cups. You do not want to put tape onto your image that you're going to be sublimating to, because that tape could get in the way of that sublimation process. So carefully tape these on and stick them over the top. And then on the tall tumbler, you can see that I have wrapped a whole piece of copy paper around it, taping top and bottom as well as center. And then I just cut the excess off the top. So I used a full sheet of just plain copy paper. Don't waste your sublimation paper for this. And again, do not touch the tape to the sippy cup bottom sublimation paper. As you can see on the left here, I have the tall tumbler in a shrink wrap sleeve, and then you do the same thing with the sippy cups. You put them in, and then on the right you can see that I've heated that up with my heat gun. And you can see how the sippy cups, how that has formed around there. On the top one, I did have a tiny little hole, so I just threw a piece of tape on there, heat resistant tape. Do I need it? No, because the one underneath it has the same little hole, and you'll see at the end that they turn out really good. Before I get to putting my shrink wrap on, I'll typically set up my air fryer. This is the kind of air fryer I have. I just take the metal basket out of it. I lay some silicone sheets in the bottom so that they don't scratch when they're in there. And then I'll set my air fryer on 385 degrees for 4 minutes. And I'll run a cycle through there just to get the air fryer all heated up. And as you can see on the left, make sure that you're using heat resistant gloves, hot pads, something, but I suggest getting a good pair of heat resistant gloves. And then I also have a pressing mat there that I set my hot blanks down on after I unwrap them. So when the oven is ready and you have everything ready to go, put your first one in, and I like to put them seam down. Put them in for 3 minutes on that 385 degrees. Then you're going to open it, and for the last minute, you're going to rotate it. And so you got the seam up. After it's done, after the 4-minute cycle, take it out. And I like to start unwrapping them when they're still warm, still hot, because it's easier to get that shrink wrap off. Be very, very careful with this that you don't burn yourself because it's extremely hot. Do not use tools. When sublimation is really hot, you can scratch it. And so on different things you'll notice, if you use tools, even plastic tools, you could scratch it. So I suggest not using any tools to unwrap. While you're unwrapping that one, you can put another one in and start the process again. 4 minutes, 385, rotating after the 3rd minute. As you can see on the left, the blue tumbler turned out really good, even though that image was printed 4 months ago. And on the right, you can see what one of the sippy cups looked like right after I pulled it out of the air fryer. You can see the image through the shrink wrap and the paper. Now here I'm unwrapping that sippy cup. I start at the top and I'll pull that off, and then I work my way down the seam. I like to do it while it's warm because if you have any of that shrink stuck on there a little bit, you're able to get it off a lot easier when it's warm. It's harder to get it off after it cools. So again, be very careful and use heat-resistant gloves. And this is how they look. This is all 3 of them right after I unwrap them. They're still warm in these pictures. So this is how I use shrink wrap when the sublimation paper does not cover the entire blank. Thanks for watching, and I hope this helped. Have a great day.